Welcome to the latest Libertas video. Today we're going to be continuing our series on creating the Bayek Left Gauntlet from Assassin's Creed Origins. Now in the previous video we burnished the leather and assembled the entire gauntlet, so it's looking pretty good. Let's take a quick look at everything. Really happy with how this is turning out. Probably could have finished up in the last video, but we're going to be continuing on with this as we work on the brass elements. So we're going to be using this brass sheeting. This is something new for me. I haven't done this before, so this is going to be trial and error as we go along. But the idea is we're going to take the templates from the original leather piece that we made, and we're going to trace it onto this craft foam again. And from the craft foam, we'll then trim down the edges so that it would fit in within these grooves that have already been pre-established. So once the template's done, then we'll transfer it onto the metal, and then from the metal, clip it out, and then figure out a way to attach it to the gauntlet. So that's the idea. We're going to get the GoPro set up and get going. So here we go. All right, so we've clipped out everything from the template and put it onto the brass, clipped the brass out, so let's take a quick look. Here's the brass pieces. I think they're gonna look really nice once they go on the actual gauntlet. So now the next step is really figuring out how we're going to attach them. You can see somewhat of a serrated edge here. Like I said, this is the first time I've done it, so I was really happy with how these things turned out. It was kind of like a quick purchase on Amazon and got it in. I was really happy. Not so much, I'm not surprised that it did a good job of clipping it out since it's so thin, but the fact that it could do a curve really well, I was really happy with that. So I'll put a link in the description below if you're looking for some sort of clip like that as well. So yeah, the next step is going to be taking apart the gauntlet, at least these two layers that we're going to attach the brass to, and figuring out where the holes are going to meet up so that we can kind of use the pre-existing holes. Might end up needing to add 2 additional rivet holes just to keep this thing secure. We'll see how it is after it's all put on there. And the same thing for this guy. So figure out that. I might clean up the edges using this little piece on the Dremel. So that's why I've got it out. I also am going to blast through holes using this, so kind of like a nice little drill bit. So I'm going to be real careful using my safety glasses. So that's the idea. We'll get the GoPro set up again and get going. So let's go. All right, so we've finished up putting the brass onto the gauntlet, so let's take a quick look. We do have this nice contrast between the chocolate brown and the brass, so it looks really, really good. I'm really happy with how this turned out, especially considering this is the first time I've really worked in brass. I mean, I did have a few goof ups with the Dremel, but it's to be expected. It's the first time I'm really using it with in this type of application, so could improve in the future. But like I've said in the past, if you make a mistake, make it stylistic. And since this thing needs to be weathered, it's just part of the weathering process, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're going to keep moving forward with these pieces. You probably saw that I did smooth out some of these edges on this piece, but not this one. We'll go back and actually finish that off just because it does get a little sharp. But really happy with how this is looking. We'll go forward and put red and blue beads onto the gauntlet, so we'll give that splash of color that we do see on Bayek's gauntlet. And we also add, as you can see in the background, the hidden blade onto the gauntlet. I'm really happy with how the prototype turned out in terms of visual aesthetics. It looks really good. I'm really happy with the details and everything. And functionality-wise, it sort of works. There's definitely room for improvement, especially on the blade locks. But that's kind of a story for another time. Needless to say, it's not in a place where I'd be 100% like, hey, go buy this on Shapeways. Like, it needs a lot of improvement if I were to do something like that. But for this immediate purpose, it's going to work for the gauntlet. I'll be able to put it onto the gauntlet with the nice rivets that I made holes for. So it'll fit on the gauntlet. It will be a nice final piece to this whole project that we're working on. So we'll paint it up in a future video, but it's going to help flush out the rest of this gauntlet. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope this project is inspiring you as we go along. We have a few more steps to go, like I've said, but we're definitely closing in on the end. So that's going to do it for tonight. Definitely check out the description for any of the tools and materials we used for this piece of the project. But other than that, we'll see you on the next Libertas video.